All right, this is my starting power forward ranking for the 2024-2025 NBA season. Let's get started. Starting off at number 30 is Jeremy Sohan. I think he's a decent player in the league. He's not a good starter at all, in my opinion. Number 9 is going to be Dorian Finney-Smith. Kind of the same thing with him. He was slightly worse than Sohan last year on my rankings, but I think he's going to be slightly better this year, mostly because the Spurs got better, the Nets got worse, so their roles individually kind of, fluctuated with that. So Dorian Finney-Smith has a little bit of a bigger role this year, so I think he's going to be a little bit better. Number 28, Nikola Jovic for the Heat. I have him dropping about 4 spots here. I do think he's going to still be pretty solid, but he's not going to be quite as good as he was last year. I think the Heat are going to have better players around them this year than they did last year, so he's going to falter a little bit because of that. Number 27, Caleb Martin. He was unranked last year. He was not. I don't think he was that good last year. Either that. I don't think he was injured. I just think he wasn't ranked. I think he's going to be really solid here for Philadelphia. Just not a great starter, but a very, very solid role player here for them. Number 26, Patrick Williams for the Bulls. He was number 26 last year. He could improve a little bit, but I don't think he's going to improve too much to really move up here in the rankings. Number 25, Rui Hachimura. He was a really good bench player last year. He was number 17 on the bench, so I think he's going to be about number 25 as a starter. He's a low-level starter, a really solid role player here for the Lakers. Number 24, Jabari Smith. I have him dropping 3 spots. I think he's going to be about the same type of player. I just think even being the same type of player, that kind of drops him a few spots here because some of the guys are below him, I think, are going to be a little bit better than they were last year. Number 23, PJ Washington. He's going to be, again, about the same type of player that he was last year, maybe slightly better defensively because he was really good defensively in the playoffs, but not so much in the regular season last year. So if he can kind of transition some of that defensive playoff play into the regular season, he could be a little bit higher. Number 22, Jonathan Kuminga. He was a really good bench player last year for the Warriors. Now he's going to start. He's going to be a good low-level starter for this Warriors team. Number 21, Tobias Harris. He was number 20 last year. Now he goes to the Pistons. I don't think he's going to have a much of a bigger role at all on the Pistons. Pistons do have, you could say they have less help than the Sixers did last season, but I still don't think Tobias Harris is really going to be the one to kind of demand a bigger role with the Pistons. Number 20, Keegan Murray. I have him dropping 3 spots, and that's mainly because of the addition of DeMar DeRozan. It's going to kind of take away from Keegan Murray a little bit there, but he's still a really, really good player. Number 19, Aaron Gordon. I think he dropped 6 spots here. He was really good in the postseason. So again, I think he's going to drop a few spots here in the regular season anyways. Also, they have a lot better depth around them than they did last season, so that's going to take off a little bit more from Aaron Gordon as well, and he's just getting another year older. Number 18, Josh Hart. He was a great bench player, an amazing bench player last year. He started in the postseason, I think, but he did not start in the regular season. Now as a starter here at power forward, I think he's going to be a pretty good starter here for the Knicks. Number 17, Alexander Sarr. He's a rookie. He was obviously unranked last year because he is a rookie. I think he's going to be a really, really good player. Number 17 as a starter for a rookie is a really good start here for him. Number 16, Miles Bridges, about the same type of player that he was last year. He's going to score in the low 20s, 21, 22 points a game, fairly efficiently. He just does not do a whole lot outside of scoring the basketball. He's a solid rebounder, but not much else. Number 15, Julius Randle, going to be around the same type of player that he was last year. I don't expect him to do better in Minnesota, maybe slightly worse in Minnesota than he was in New York, but pretty much the same type of player. Number 14, I have Jalen Johnson. I think he's going to take a little bit of a leap here. They don't have DeJounte Murray anymore. They do have, obviously, Zachary Versace, so that's going to take away from him a little bit, but I think he's going to benefit quite a bit from not having DeJounte Murray, and that's going to help him kind of progress here a little bit. Number 13, Jeremy Grant. He was number 15 last year. I think he moves up a couple of spots. The Blazers do have more help than they did last year, but I do think Jeremy Grant is still going to be kind of right around the same type of player that he was last season. Number 12, Jaren Jackson. He was a center last year. He was at number 15th last year. He did not have a very good season. He also did not have any help on his team, so he was trying to do too much. I feel like he should be more traditional as a power forward this year than he would be at a center. Having John Morant and them back to kind of help him be able to play his type of game, I think is going to benefit him quite a bit. Number 11, Chet Holmgren. He was a center last year. He was number 13. I think he does a little bit better here as a power forward. I think he's going to be better offensively for sure, and being a power forward is going to automatically make him better defensively. Number 10, Lauri Markkanen. I think he drops a couple of spots here. The Jazz have more help around him personally, in my opinion, so I think he's going to falter a little bit because of that, but he's still a really good player and certainly a top 10 guy at his position. Number 9, Zion Williamson. I think he drops a couple of spots here. Obviously, they did get DeJounte Murray, and they got I guess that's about it. They got DeJounte Murray. He could drop it a little bit, but I still think he's going to be a very, very good player here for the Pelicans. Number 8, Scottie Barnes. He was at number 12 last year. I think he jumps up to number 8 this year. The Raptors have no help around him. RJ Barrett's good. Emmanuel Quickley's good, but they had OG Anunoby for a good part of the season last year, and they had I think they had better depth last year than they have this year. So I think Scottie Barnes is going to have to play a bigger role, and I think he's going to thrive in that role. Number 7, Pascal Siakam. I got him moving down from 5 to 7. He was a great player in the postseason, so that kind of inflated his ranking a little bit. But I still think he's going to be a very, very good player here in the regular season. Number 6, Evan Mobley. I have him jumping up quite a bit from 11 to number 6. I think Jared Allen is going to be a little bit worse this year. And I think Evan Mobley is going to be quite a bit better this year. I thought he was going to have a breakout season last year to be close to a top 5 in his position. He did not, but I think this year is going to be that year. I think he takes a pretty big step offensively this year too. Number 5, Paolo Banchero. He was number 6 last year. Half went number 5 this year. He's not going to be much improved because he was already really good last year. The only thing that I think he's going to improve is going to be his three-point shot. I think he improves that a little bit this year. Number 4, Kawhi Leonard. He's injured. He could be injured for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, or even the whole season. We really don't know what the injury is or how long it's going to be, but I still did want to keep him on this ranking just in case. But still, if he's healthy, he's a top 4 player at his position. But if he's not healthy, which he's probably not going to be healthy, then he's not going to be on this list at the end of the season. Number 3, Jayson Tatum. He was number 3 last year. He's going to be number 3 this year. He's a great player, top 10 player in the league probably. So obviously, Jayson Tatum is an amazing player. Number 2, Kevin Durant. He's an amazing player. He was better than Tatum last year in my rankings. I don't really have any reason to swap them here. Number 1, going to be Giannis Antetokounmpo. Obviously, nobody's going to argue. Nobody should argue that Giannis is not the best power forward in the league. He's probably a top 3 to 5 player in the league as well. But that is going to be it for the video. Thank you for watching. Make sure to check back tomorrow for a center list as well.